we'll start the next part of this chapter. So we have completed the simple permanent tissues. Okay, so plant tissues were of two types, meristematic and permanent tissues, and permanent tissues are of two types, simple and complex. In our last class, up to simple permanent tissues, which are made up of single types of cells, we have completed. Next, complex permanent tissues. So what is the distinguishing character? How can we distinguish between the simple and the complex? As in complex permanent tissues, they are made up of two types of cells. Okay, and examples is xylem and phloem. So in xylem and phloem tissue, there is involvement of more than one kind of cell. That is why we say them as complex permanent tissue. First, let me xylem, different xylem elements and phloem कहा गया. This is phloem. Okay. First, we'll start with xylem. The complex tissues consist of more than one type of cells having a common origin, and these types of cells, they have a common origin. That is, they are derived from the meristematic tissues. Okay, because meristematic tissues only, they form a permanent tissue. So all these cells coordinate to perform a common function. Complex tissues transport water, mineral, salts and food materials to various parts of the plant body. So complex tissues are of two types, xylem and phloem. So what is the function of xylem? Transport or conduction of water from the roots of a plant to different parts of the plant. So xylem transports water, and so water कहाँ पे होगा? In the soil, and along with the water some dissolved minerals also will be there. So xylem will the root of a plant will absorb this water along with the dissolved minerals, and through xylem tissue it will be transported to each and every part of the plant body. Then what is the function of phloem? So after photosynthesis, glucose is formed as food in the leaves, because we know photosynthesis takes place in the green parts only, and green parts of a plant is the leaf. So after formation of glucose, this glucose has to be transported to the entire each and every cell of the body, because each and every cell of the plant body needs energy to survive. So that is done by phloem. Okay, phloem is another type of tissue, tube structures. These are this tube like structure or vessel, we can say. Through phloem vessel, food which is produced in the leaves is transported to each and every part of the plant body. Xylem and phloem are both conducting tissues. They are known as conducting tissues because they are involved in transport of, in case of xylem, water, and in case of phloem, food. This is why they are known as conducting tissues and also known as vascular tissues. Together both of them constitute the vascular bundles, and both xylem and phloem को हम एक साथ क्या बोलते हैं? Vascular bundles. Separately we can tell them xylem tissue or vascular tissue. Both of them we say together as vascular bundles. So we'll see the xylem first. It is responsible for the transport of water and minerals from the roots to the other parts of the plant. As I have already discussed, the cells of xylem have thick walls and many of them are dead. So the xylem cells, they have thick walls, and most of the xylem cells, they are dead cells. That is, they do not have any cytoplasm or nucleus inside the cells. So let us first transverse section of xylem. This is xylem okay. Where is the transverse section? Complex permanent tissue, xylem element, trachid vessel, xylem parenchyma, transverse section of phloem tissue, longitudinal section of phloem tissue. Transverse section is not present. So first, xylem consists of various types of elements which are as follows. So in xylem tissue we can see two types of structures. one is trachid and one is vessel. So this is one cell, this is one different cell. This is why there is involvement of two cells in xylem. This is why we call them as permanent tissues, because permanent tissues have more than one types of cell. So there are two structures in xylem, one is trachid and another is this one. It's visible, yeah. Another this one, it is known as vessel. So first we'll study tracheds. These are dead long tubular structures with tapering ends. So trachid is a dead part or is a dead cell because there is no any nucleus or cytoplasm in it. Okay, with tapering ends. So both, it is a slender shaped, means tapering at both the ends. So both the ends are pointed. We can say it is tapering. Tracheads do not have open ends, so water passes from one cell to another via pits. So this is just one cell structure. ऐसे बहुत सारे cells they join together to form the xylem vessel. This is only one part. Okay, so like this many cells join together and they form the xylem vessel. So how the main function of xylem vessel is to transport water from the roots to different parts of the plant. So how water will be transported through these tracheads? So as this trachid have both their ends are closed, so water cannot pass from this. But in trachid, in its body structure, see there are some holes here. We call it pit. So water from one trachid to another passes through these holes or hole-like structure, which is known as pit. Okay, they transport water and minerals vertically. Vertically matlab this is horizontal and this is vertical. So they transport vertically water, means upward. Okay. And then vessels. So this another structure, this is known as vessel. So this is microscopic structure, this is normal structure. So see, in vessels, these are long tube-like structures formed by a row of cells placed end to end. So this is one cell of vessel, this is one cell of vessel. So they are connected together, they are placed end to end. So this is one section, transverse section. This is the longitudinal section of this cell. These are placed one to end. See, this is one cell and this is one cell. The end of this cell is connected to the end of the next cell. In this way they form a continuous connection. Next, what we have, these are also dead cells with lignified walls. So these also do not have any nucleus or cytoplasm in it, so we can call it as dead cell, and their wall is lignified. What lignified means? Their wall is made up of lignin. What is lignin? Lignin is a cellulose structure, and because of the presence of lignin, the xylem vessels are very hard, and this is why the xylem provides strength and rigidity to a plant. They also help in conduction of water. So through this vessel also water transportation or water conduction takes place. So what is the main function of the xylem is to transport water and minerals from the roots to different parts of the plant. So there is one more structure which is or cell which is involved with in the xylem. It is known as xylem parenchyma. Okay, so first see, so these are the only living cells of xylem with thin cell walls. So as we have seen, most of the cells, both this trachid and vessel, the cells of trachees and vessel, these are dead because they do not have any nucleus and cytoplasm. Only the xylem parenchyma has nucleus, cytoplasm and vacuole. So this is the only living cell which is associated with the xylem tissue. So these are the only living cells with thin cell walls. These store food and helps in the sideways conduction of water. So first, what we have seen, tracheids helps in vertically, means tracheids transport water and minerals upward or vertically. So, and the xylem parenchyma, this is only the living cell of the xylem tissue. It transport water sideways. Okay, so in different sideways water. Suppose this is a stem. Okay, in sideways there will be branches, leaves. Okay, so tracheids conduct water upwards, and the xylem parenchyma will conduct water sideways to different branches or to the different leaves. Next, one more structure, xylem fibers. These are thick elongated dead cells with tapering ends and thick cell walls. So these are also dead cells, and dead cell means without any nucleus or cytoplasm, and they also have tapering ends. So xylem fiber is most probably not shown here. Xylem fiber is not shown here. So xylem fiber का function क्या है? These fibers are associated with xylem and supportive in functioning of xylem. So these xylem fibers, these cells support the xylem in conduction of water and minerals from roots to different part of the plant. So xylem fibers, these are also dead cells with tapering ends, and what is its function? It is associated with supportive function. It provides a supportive function to the xylem tissue. Okay. Next, function of xylem. The main function of xylem is to carry water and minerals upward from the root to different parts of the shoot. As we have already discussed, main function is conduction of water. The roots will absorb water from the soil, and from in that water the minerals are also dissolved. Minerals such as what? There may be nitrogen, phosphorus and other minerals. These are also potassium. So these are transported or conducted to different parts of the plant through xylem. Since the walls of tracheids, vessels and sclerenchyma of xylem are lignified, they give mechanical strength to the plant body. As we have already discussed, the walls of tracheids, vessels and sclerenchyma of xylem, they are lignified. They are made up of lignin. Xylem sclerenchyma कौन सा है? The xylem fibers. We also call it as xylem sclerenchyma. So these are non-living cells, and they are made up of lignin, and lignin is a very hard substance, and it provides strength or rigidity to the plant body. Next we have phloem. So just like xylem, phloem also has two cells associated with them. So this is a longitudinal section of phloem, and this is transverse section. Transverse section means this is a stem. If we cut it in this way horizontally, then it's said to be longitudinal section, transverse section, and if we cut it in this way vertically, then we will call it as longitudinal section. So we'll learn it both from longitudinal and the transverse section diagrams. It's running, yeah. So phloem transport food from leaves to other parts of the plant. So main function of phloem is to transport food from leaves of the plant to other part. All phloem cells are living except the phloem fibers. So most of the phloem cells are living cells. That means they will have cytoplasm and nucleus in their cells. Except the phloem fibers, all phloem cells are living. Phloem is composed of the following four elements or cells: sieve tube, companion cells, phloem parenchyma and phloem fibers. So इन चारों cells से बने हुए हैं. So a phloem is made up of four types of cells: sieve tubes, companion cells, phloem parenchyma and phloem fibers. First, sieve tubes. Sieve tubes are slender. So sieve tubes here, it's shown or not? Let me just see. Sieve tube. This is sieve plate. Yeah, this is only sieve tube. Sieve tube element. Okay. First, sieve tubes are slender tube-like structures composed of elongated thin wall cells placed end to end. See, this is one cell of sieve tube. This cell, this is one cell of sieve tube. Long, elongated, slender, tube-like, composed of thin cell walls. Their cell walls are thin and placed end to end. So this is one sieve tube cell. Next, इसके ऊपर एक रहेगा, इसके नीचे एक रहेगा. And in this way, many sieve tube elements or sieve tube cells are connected to one another. Their end walls are perforated by numerous pores called sieve plates. But as food molecules has to transport through this tube, sieve tube, so there must be some connection between one tube and the other tube. So the end walls of one tube, the end walls of or the two sides, they are not completely closed. Some pores are there or perforations are there. Perforated मतलब उसमें pores है. There are some holes for the passage of food molecules through this sieve tube. So the one sieve tube element is continuous with the other with the help of sieve plates. So there are some plate-like structures here which we call as sieve plates, and in sieve plates there are some pore-like structures. Okay, and through these pores, food molecules passes from one cell to the next sieve tube cell. Then companion cell. This is the companion cell. This cell. Okay, this is the companion cell. And companion cell means company करता है वो, it helps or accompanies the sieve tube element or sieve tube cell for conducting these food molecules through it. Small thin wall cells containing dense and very active cytoplasm and large elongated nucleus are associated with the sieve tubes. It is called a companion cell. So these are thin wall cells, okay, and they have very dense and active cytoplasm. Dense, see the cytoplasm here is very dense. There are some plastids and there is nucleus is present here. So it is a living cell because nucleus and a dense cytoplasm is present here. So each sieve tube is connected with a companion cell. हर एक sieve tube के साथ एक companion cell connected है. So यहाँ पे सिर्फ एक ही cell दिखाया गया हुआ है. So these are also the elements. Okay, only one cell is shown here. So each, with every sieve tube, one companion cell is connected with it. So companion cells help sieve tubes in the translocation of food. So as I have already mentioned, companion cell means it helps or accompanies these sieve tubes for transport of food through this. So main function of the companion cell is to help the sieve tubes for in translocation of food. Translocation of food means the transport or conduction of food. उसको हम बोलते हैं translocation. What is translocation? Translocation is the process through which the food substances which is prepared in the leaves is transported to different part of the plant body. This is known as translocation. Next क्या है? Phloem parenchyma cell. Next another cell is the phloem parenchyma. This one. This is also living cell because here nucleus is present and vacuole is also present and cytoplasm is also present. So these are thin walled cells which help in storage and slow lateral conduction of food. So this phloem parenchyma, these sieve tubes, they conduct food vertically, and This another structure, phloem parenchyma. These are also thin walled cells. It helps in storage of food, and this phloem parenchyma, they transport food laterally, that means sideways. Slow lateral conduction of food. Then phloem fibers. Fibers is not shown here. Fiber means thread-like structures, you know. These are also associated with this phloem tissue. So these are thick-walled sclerenchyma cells which provide mechanical strength to the tissue. So main, as we have seen in case of xylem fibers, these are also elongated dead cells with tapering ends with thick cell walls. Same, these are thick cell-walled sclerenchyma cells, which sclerenchyma cells, and it provides mechanical strength. Same यहाँ पे भी xylem fibers का काम क्या था? Mechanical strength or supportive in the function or giving mechanical strength. So here also these cells are thick walled sclerenchyma cells which provide mechanical strength to the tissue. Functions of phloem. Phloem transports or conducts photosynthetically prepared food materials from the leaves to the storage organs, and later from storage organs to the growing regions of the plant body. So there are some storage regions in the plant where food which is produced in the leaves, because photosynthesis is a continuous process. So the food जो हम किचन में क्या करते हैं, जब खाना पकाने के बाद हम दूसरे बर्तन में रखते हैं, स्टोर करते हैं, ताकि उस बर्तन में, उस कढ़ाई में फिर से खाना पका सके. So similarly in leaves what happens, so after preparation of the food, that is the glucose, that glucose is stored in another some storage organs are there, and later from these storage organs this food or glucose is transported to different parts of the plant with the help of this phloem tissue. So this was all about the plant cells, and we have reached to the animal cells section now. So first, so animal cells is very interesting, like plant cells. We study one by one, and we'll try to complete this chapter. Not much things are left. So on the basis of function they perform, animal tissues are classified into 4 basic types as follows. So what function does these tissues perform? So on the basis of their function, the animal tissues are divided into 4 categories: epithelial, muscular, connective, and nervous. Some subdivisions are there. We'll study one by one. First, epithelial tissue. So before starting, let us find the diagrams. These are, so there are several types of epithelial tissues. We study one by one. So it is the simplest type of tissue which is found in the animal body. It is a protective tissue of the animal body. So this epithelial tissue, the epidermis, so it forms the outermost protective covering. So there are various types. So it forms it is mainly protective in function because it mostly covers the outermost portion of the human body, the outermost cells. The cells of this tissue are tightly packed and form a continuous sheet. So first one example, this is squamous epithelium, the first type of epithelium. So first type of these are tightly packed, and form a continuous sheet. So see the cells of this squamous epithelium, this is one cell, this is one cell, so there is no gap in between any cell. So these cells are together densely packed. The tissue covers most organs and cavities within the body. So this epithelial tissue, it's protective in function. They cover the most of our this one internal body organs. They form a protective layer, and the organs are placed inside it. एक outer covering form करते हैं this epithelial tissue, and the cavities within their body. So there are various types of cavities. Cavities means what we say is empty spaces. So our, like our mouth cavity, it is an empty space. So there are many cavities or spaces inside these our uh, esophagus. Also there is some cavity inside any or most of the organs. There are some cavities or spaces. So this epithelial tissue covers up these spaces. It also forms a barrier to keep different body systems separate. So it also separates or acts as a barrier or a boundary wall between different body organs, so that there is obviously connections between our different body organs, but what it does, it epithelial tissue, it distinguishes or keeps separate one body organ from the another. The skin and lining of buccal cavity. The skin and lining of buccal cavity. So buccal cavity means the cavity inside our mouth. Okay, the upper part, the upper part the inside our mouth. So it is made up of epithelial tissue. Blood vessels. The blood vessels are of three types through which blood flows. Blood vessels means the pipe-like structures through which blood flows. Okay, there are three types: arteries, veins, and capillaries. So these are also made up of epithelial tissue. Alveoli of the lungs. So there is a structure, alveoli. These are air-like structures or bag-like structures, and through alveoli only the exchange of oxygen takes place and carbon dioxide takes place in the lungs. So it is also made of epithelial tissue. And kidney tubules. Kidney tubules means there are some tube-like organs. First, there are many tube-like organs in kidney through which urine flows or different types of fluids flows. So that are also made up of epithelial tissue. Okay. So epithelial tissue is separated from underlying tissue by an extracellular fibrous membrane containing collagen. So epithelial tissue, it is the uppermost portion or uppermost tissue. So there is layer of other tissue also next to the अंडरलाइंग जो नीचे होगा इपिथेलियल टिश्यू के नीचे होगा, एंड द इपिथेलियल टिश्यू इज सेपरेटेड फ्रॉम इट्स लोअर टिश्यू थ्रू a membrane covering. The function of epithelial tissue: the cells of body surface, the cells of body surface from the outer layer of the skin, which protects the underlying cells from drying, injury, and mechanical effects. So these are the cells of our body surface, the cell which is outside our body surface. Okay, from outer layer of the skin, and this outer layer of the skin protects the inner layers from drying up. That means from loss of water or dehydration, from injury, and from harmful effects of chemicals. Inside the body, epithelial cells form lining of mouth and alimentary canal and protect these organs. So as I have already mentioned, so epithelial cells, it forms or it makes up the lining of various cavities inside our body: the mouth cavity and the alimentary canal. Okay, the alimentary canal means the digestive system, and the digestive system starts from our mouth and ends in anus. So it is a whole of these things is a cavity. मतलब अगर स्पेस नहीं होगा तो फूड कैसे जाएगा? कैविटी मीन्स स्पेस, एंड दिस इनर लाइनिंग of, suppose this is, okay, suppose this is the it starts from the mouth here. So this inner part, innermost part, okay, this inner lining, it is made up of epithelial cells or epithelial tissues. Epithelial tissues help in absorption of water and nutrients in the, and epithelial tissues helps in absorption of water and elimination of waste products. So what happens? Absorption, where it takes place? Absorption takes after digestion. Absorption takes place in the small intestine through the walls of the small intestine, and these walls are made up of epithelial tissues only, because as we have already seen, the cavities or the spaces inside these alimentary canal is made up of epithelial cells. So through these epithelial cells in the small intestine, absorption takes place because digestion is completed in the small intestine. So through these walls of these epithelial cells, the nutrients passes through the blood, and through blood it reaches each and every organ of our body. Some epithelial tissues secrete a varieties of substances such as sweat, saliva, and enzymes. So sweat glands are present on our skin, and skin is made up of epithelial cells or epithelial tissues. Sweat glands produce sweat. Then saliva is produced by the salivary glands, which is in the inside our mouth or the buccal cavity, we can say. Then some enzymes. The enzymes are mainly secreted by some enzymes are secreted by the pancreas. Some enzymes are secreted by the small intestine also for this digestion purposes. So various types of secretions, enzymatic secretions are also performed by the epithelial tissues. So next we'll study the types of the epithelial tissues one by one. So depending upon shape and function of the cells, the epithelial tissues are classified as follows. So depending upon what is their shape, उसका shape कैसा है and उसका उस tissue का function कैसा है, depending upon that these various types of epithelial tissues are named, and we have to study their nature, what the cell looks like, their occurrence, where do they occur, and their function, what is their role in our human body. First, simple squamous epithelium. This is the simple squamous epithelium. So first, it is made up of thin, flat, irregular shaped cells which fit like a floor tiles to form a compact tissue. So see, these are flat, thin, and irregular shaped. All cells, all the cells you see are not of same size. Some are big, some are large, some are of different sizes. They are irregular shaped and they fit together like floor tiles. फ्लोर में जो टाइल्स हम बिठाते हैं वैसे ही वो दिखते हैं उसका अपीयरेंस. So they fit together like floor tiles and it forms a compact tissue. So there is no gap in between these any of the cells. They are very much compact. Okay. And occurrence. It forms the delicate lining of the cavities such as mouth, esophagus, nose, pericardium, alveoli, etc. So inner lining of different organs such as mouth, this esophagus, nose, alveoli, it forms the inner lining of these body organs or body parts. And blood vessels and covering of the tongue and skin. जो टंग का जो कवरिंग है and the outermost covering of the skin, it is made up of this squamous epithelium tissue. Function: it protects the underlying cells from mechanical injury. So see, this cell, squamous epithelium, this is almost, in case of suppose skin it is outside, in case of tongue also it forms the outer layer cell of the tongue. In case of the esophagus or nose, inside our nostrils, this layer, the outer, the layer which is inside our nose, it is made up of this squamous epithelium. So what it does, it protects the underlying body parts from mechanical injury से बचाता है, entry of germs and chemicals, and from drying, that is the loss of water. It also forms a selectively permeable surface through which filtration occurs. So it selectively permeable, we have already studied, means entry of some selective substances retaining or remaining behind the other substances. So what squamous epithelium of these different organs does, mouth, esophagus, nose, they permit selective absorption of some materials while retaining or excluding the others. So selective permeability is another function of this squamous epithelium. Next we have stratified squamous epithelium. So there stratified squamous epithelium. Squamous epithelium, where is the diagram? Stratified is not given here. Okay, let's discuss what is there. So it is found in the outer side of the skin as it is highly resistant to mechanical injury and is waterproof. So it is a form of squamous epithelium only. It's stratified squamous epithelium and it is found where in the outer side of the skin. So this is the it forms the outer layer of the skin as it is highly resistant to mechanical injury. So our outer layer of the skin can withstand or can bear a good amount of pressure, so it protects the inner cells from mechanical injury, so and is waterproof. So water, this layer squamous epithelium cell, it's waterproof, so water cannot enter inside, so it's waterproof. Next, cells are arranged in many layers to prevent their wear and tear. So stratified columnar epithelium, they are many layers thick, not only single layer, they are many layered thick. And as this is the outside, it remains in the outside portion, it has to deal with a lot of environmental pressure or extreme conditions of the environment, so there may be wear and tear in the cells. Okay, so these cells are arranged in many layers to prevent wear and tear of the cells. Next we have cuboidal epithelium. Cuboidal means they are cube like structures. These cells are cube like in shape. See, this is a cuboidal epithelium and these cells are of cube shaped. It is made up of cube shaped cells which have rounded nuclei and their nucleus is round in structure, गोल है जो न्यूक्लियस है, और जो सेल का जो स्ट्रक्चर है वो क्यूब की तरह है. Cuboidal epithelium is found in kidney tubules. So there are some tube-like structures in the kidney which we'll study when we'll study class 10. We have their detailed structure of the kidney. So just for now you understand. Nephron, this is one part or one structure of the kidney, the main functional unit of the kidney. And nephron, it's made up of Bowman's capsule. There is a structure which is known as Bowman's capsule, and it's better to show you in class, from class 10 book, class 10 ka hi. So see, this is a structure of a kidney, inside structure in this section, transverse section. So see, so this cup-like structure, it is known as Bowman's capsule, and some tube-like structure appears from this Bowman's capsule, जिसको हम ट्यूबल बोलते हैं. ठीक है, इसी को हम बोलते हैं किडनी ट्यूबल. ओके, so it forms cuboidal epithelium is found in the then thyroid vesicles, thyroid glands में होता है, and in glands such as salivary gland, sweat glands and pancreas. So here in these structures cuboidal epithelium tissues are found. It also forms the germinal epithelium of gonads. Gonads means what? The sex cells, that means the male cell sperm and the female cell ovum. So it forms the this gonads or the sex cells. Next, function, it helps in absorption, excretion and secretion. So main function of cuboidal epithelium is absorption of substances, excretion in case of kidney tubules, and secretion in case of what? These glands such as what? Thyroid gland, salivary gland. Thyroid gland secretes what? Thyroid. Salivary gland secretes saliva. Sweat glands secrete sweat. Pancreas also secrete different pancreatic juice. Okay, so main function of cuboidal epithelium is absorption, excretion and secretion. It also provides mechanical support to these organs or to these glands. Next, columnar epithelium. Columnar means their shape is pillar like. Their column, row, row means row and column. Column means these horizontal like structures. So their shape is column like. So it is made up of tall pillar like cells. This you see, it is made up of tall, the cells are pillar like, and this nucleus is not rounded, it is a bit oval shaped, or we can say it is elongated in shape. Occurrence, where it is found, it forms the lining of the stomach. So inside the stomach lining it is found small intestine, lining of the small intestine, and large intestine or colon, forming mucous membrane. So it's found mainly in the stomach lining, or we can say in the digestive system of our body. So where it is found, stomach, small intestine, large intestine, and it forms the mucous membrane. And from mucous membrane, different mucous substances are mucous membrane is present inside the stomach also, which secretes mucus. It also forms the lining of gallbladder. Inside lining of gallbladder, it is also absorbed in involved in the digestion. And oviducts. Oviducts matlab oviduct. So this term is new to you. There is one structure in the female reproductive system, which is known as ovary. Okay, we'll study in class 10 these things. So in ovary, there are some tube-like structures which we called as oviduct. So it forms the inner lining of these oviducts also. So its main function include absorption and secretion. So main function is absorption. So स्टोमक में जो कोई कोलुमनर इपिथेलियम है, इट देयर इज एब्जॉर्ब सेक्रेशन ऑफ different acids, hydrochloric acids, and some mucus. So this is function is secretion. Okay, secretion of different acids and mucous membrane. In case of intestine, what happens, जो food जो after digestion it is absorbed in through the wall of the intestine, and this wall of the intestine is made up of columnar epithelium tissues or columnar epithelium cells, we can say. Then gallbladder and oviducts. Okay, so these are the functions of columnar epithelium. Next, ciliated columnar epithelium. ये columnar epithelium की जैसा ही है, but with some cilia connected to it. Cilia means this one, ciliated columnar epithelium, same as the columnar epithelium, but difference is that some cilia are present. Cilia, these hair-like structures. So when columnar epithelial cells possesses cilia, it is called ciliated columnar epithelium. जब columnar epithelial cells में cilia present होगा, we shall call it as ciliated epithelium. It is found in the trachea, bronchi of lungs, and also the trachea is the windpipe. जब हम वो देखेंगे ना, तुम लोगों को दिखाई देता हो, क्लास 10 के बुक में तो है ही. कहा गया ट्रैकिया भाई, ट्रैकिया तो रेस्पिरेशन चैप्टर में है. आ जाओ. ये देखो, दिस इज द ह्यूमन रेस्पिरेटरी सिस्टम. द कोलुमनर एपिथेलियल सेल इज फाउंड इन द ट्रैकिया. दिस इज द ट्रैकिया और विंड पाइप. विंड पाइप क्यों बोलते हैं? बिकॉज द विंड और एयर विच वी आर टेकिंग इन passes through this trachea and then it enters the lungs. Then bronchi of lungs. See, this trachea, then we have two lungs. This trachea then divides into two parts. These two parts, these two pipe-like structures, we call them as bronchi. Then bronchi of lungs, and also the lines of oviducts. I have already said there are some tube-like structures in the ovary and sperm ducts. Similarly, there are some tube-like structures in the human, the male reproductive system also, through its sperm cells flows. So through this ciliated epithelium also, they cover up these ducts, because This cilia, the movement of this cilia helps in the flow of ovum through oviducts and sperm cells through sperm ducts, and kidney tubules, the tubules of the kidney I have already shown you. Then functions. The movement of cilia of ciliated columnar epithelium moves solid particles. So this ciliated columnar epithelium is involved in its movement because this beating of the cilia moves solid particles through this tube-like structure. So all these are tube-like tube structures: trachea, bronchi of lungs, oviducts, sperm ducts, kidney tubules. So the movement of cilia helps in transport of substances through these tubes. Example: mucus, sperms, etc. in one direction through the ducts. Next we have glandular epithelium. Where is glandular epithelium? It's not shown here, not much important. The columnar epithelium is often modified to form glands which secrete chemicals. So it is a modification of the columnar epithelium cells. Okay, and this modification, it is modified to form some glands and which secrete chemicals. Next we have muscle tissues. Next part, we have completed these epithelial cells. Now we'll study about what are the types of tissues which makes up our body muscles. Okay, our body muscles, our heart muscles. So first, so muscular tissues consist of elongated cells called the muscle fibers. So the tissues of this the cells of this muscular tissues, they are elongated, they are tapering. See, these cells, हर एक ये सब cells है, ठीक है. These cells, they are tapering. The muscular tissues are responsible for movement of our body. The contraction and expansion in the muscle tissues helps us to move the different body parts. So it's involved in the movement of our body or different body parts. It contains a special type of protein called contractile protein. So in muscle tissues, a special type of protein, due to the presence of a special type of protein called contractile proteins, our muscles can contract and relax. And due to this contraction and relaxation of muscles, we are able to move different body parts or use our different body parts easily. And these contractile proteins are responsible for contraction and relaxation. So on the basis of their location, where these muscle tissues are located, what is their structure and what is its function, we have following three types of muscle fibers. First we have striated muscles. This number A, striated muscles. Striated muscles means these muscles have some band-like structures at regular intervals, or this band we can call it as striations. Due to the presence of these band-like structures, these muscle tissues are known as striated muscles. Muscles present in our limbs. Limbs means our hands and feet. The muscles present in our limbs which move or stop as per our will are called striated muscles, and these are voluntary muscles, and because we can control it on our own will. And the muscles which we can control on our own will, we can call it as voluntary muscles. So these are striated muscles. These are also called voluntary muscles, as we can move them by conscious will. By a conscious presence of mind, we can move or according to our will. This is why they are called voluntary muscles. Mostly striated muscles are attached to bones and help in the body movement. These striated muscles, they are attached to the bones because these bones helps us in movement, and these muscles are connected to the bones, which provides flexibility or movement to the bones. And these striated muscles, they are connected to the bones, and it helps in the movement of different parts, body parts, muscles of limbs. Hence these are also called as skeletal muscles. So striated muscle को हम skeletal muscle भी बोल सकते हैं, because these muscles are connected to the skeletons of our body or the bones of our body. The cells of striated muscles are long, cylindrical, unbranched, and multinucleate. So you see, the cells of striated muscles, they are long, cylindrical, elongated, and are multinucleate. Many nucleus are present, and some band-like structures are there. Dark and white strips. This is dark strip, this is white strip, this is dark, this is white. Alternate bands of dark and white strips are there. So this is why they are known as striated muscles. As these muscle fibers show alternate dark and light strips or bands, they are called striped muscles or striated muscles. Functions. Striated muscles are powerful and undergo rapid contraction. So as these muscles are connected to our bones, they can undergo rapid contraction and expansion, and due to this rapid contraction and expansion, we can easily and effortlessly move our different body parts or different body joints. This muscle can get tired and may need rest, but as you see, overuse of, suppose exercising overuse, हम लोग we are running or we are working, then these joints get tired, or these muscles which are present in the joints, they get tired and they need rest, and after some rest they can function 100% efficiently. So striated muscles provide the force for locomotion and all other voluntary movements of our body. Locomotion means movement from one place to another, movement of our hands, movement of our feet, and voluntary movements of our body, movement of different body parts according to our will. Okay, this striated muscle provides the needed force. Then smooth or unstriated muscles. Next type of muscles is smooth muscles and unstriated, because there is, in smooth muscle there is no any alternate dark and alternate band of dark and light strips, so they are known as smooth muscles. First, the muscles which we cannot move as per our will are called smooth muscles, and these smooth muscles we cannot, as these smooth muscles, they mostly form the internal part of our body organs, and we cannot move them as per our will, and this is why we also call them as involuntary muscles. Involuntary मतलब हम अपने खुद के मर्जी से उन मसल्स को मूवमेंट या कंट्रोल नहीं कर सकते. The movement of food in the alimentary canal, we cannot control it. It's a body regulated process, self-regulated process. So the movement of food in the alimentary canal, contraction and relaxation of blood vessels. So in our blood vessels, if we touch here, when blood flows, it contracts, and when blood, and then it relaxes. So rapid contraction and relaxation is there, and it is due to this unstriated or smooth muscles. Smooth muscles are found in the stomach, inside stomach, intestine, ureter, bronchi, and iris of the eye. The cells constituting these muscles are long with pointed ends, or we can say spindle shaped. So spindle or elongated shape or tapering ends, same matlab the end points are elongated or tapering or sharp. These cells are elongated and uninucleate. देखो हर एक cell में, this is one cell of smooth muscle, this is one cell, so different cells are joined end to end. So हर एक cell में एक ही nucleus है, so this is uninucleate. These muscles do not show any dark or light bands, so there is no any dark and light bands, just that we have seen in case of the striated muscles. Hence these are also called unstriated muscles. So smooth muscles को हम unstriated muscles भी बोल सकते हैं, as there is no any band or alternate dark and light bands. Function. Smooth muscle perform the involuntary movements such as movement of food in the alimentary canal, opening and closing of tubes. So different the smooth muscles perform, those are involuntary muscles which are beyond our control. So movement of food in the alimentary canal, opening and closing of different tubes in our body, and some other functions, these are under the these are involuntary movements and it's performed by the smooth muscles. So smooth muscles causes peristaltic movements in the stomach. So peristaltic movements means in this way स्टमक में क्या होता है जब एसिड सेक्रेशन होता है आफ्टर द फूड पासेस फ्रॉम इसोफेगस टू द स्टमक, द म्यूकस मेम्ब्रेन ऑफ द स्टमक it secretes hydrochloric acid and mucus, and these substances, this hydrochloric acid and some other secretions which are poured into the stomach, it is mixed with the food. तो मिक्स कैसे होगा? द फूड इज ऐसे जो मिक्सचर मशीन में जैसे ऐसा गोल गोल घूमता है ना, सो लाइक दिस इट रोटेट्स इन द स्टमक एंड इट इज दिस रोटेशन इज नोन एज द peristaltic movement, and through peristaltic movement these food particles are easily mixed up with different secretions which are poured in the stomach, and the smooth muscles are responsible for these peristaltic movements. Then cardiac muscles. Cardiac means cardio means this word is related to heart, so we can say these cardiac muscles are the heart muscles. Example C, or these muscles which make up the heart. Cardiac muscles show characteristics of both smooth and striated muscles. So it shows characteristics of both smooth muscles and striated muscles. So these are like this branched shape, and some you see some bands are also there, light and dark bands. The cells constituting cardiac muscles are cylindrical in shape. These are uninucleate, having one nucleus, and branched, have different branches. So as we have seen different branching in case of the smooth muscles also, so in case of cardiac muscles some different branching is also present, have single nucleus, and have strips of light and dark bands, and have some strips of light and dark bands as we have seen in case of the striated muscles. So we can say the cardiac muscle is a combination of both this smooth muscle and the striated muscle. Cardiac muscle occur in the walls of the heart, so it makes up the wall of the heart. Cardiac muscle contract and relax rapidly, rhythmically and tirelessly throughout a lifetime. So how the heart pumps blood? When the heart contracts, when the muscles of the heart contracts, or we can say when the cardiac muscle contract, it forms the inner wall of the heart. When this cardiac muscle contract, blood is pumped out from the heart through different arteries. It reaches to each and every organ, and then it relaxes. When it relaxes, it is again filled up with blood. Okay, so this contraction and relaxation, it takes place 70 to 72 times per minute, and these cardiac muscles are responsible for this contraction and relaxation of the heart. Contraction and relaxation of the heart muscle help to pump and distribute blood to various parts of the body, as we have seen. So the main cardiac muscle, main highlighting features, it is made up of both the striated and the smooth muscles, elongated in shape, branch shape, uninucleate, contains light and dark bands, and it's mainly found in the walls of our heart, and it contracts and relaxes periodically to pump blood into the different parts of the body. Next, connective tissue. Muscle tissues complete, then connective tissue. Connective, by the word connective, what you mean? Connection. So we can say connective tissues forms connections between different body parts or between different body organs. So connective tissue is specialized to connect on and anchor various body organs. Connect one body organ with another and anchor. Anchor means to join. Okay, like this. This is an example of anchoring. Okay, to join one body part with another. The tissues can connect bones to each other. Connective tissue connects one bone with the another bone. Muscles to bones, जो muscles है and जो bones है, it forms a continuous connection. Bind tissues, so we have seen different tissues, so it makes connection or binds different types or joins different types of tissues, and also gives support to the various body parts by creating a packaging around organs. So इट ऑल्सो फॉर्म्स ए पैकेजिंग मटेरियल। पैकेजिंग मतलब सपोज हम जब कुछ खरीदते हैं ऑनलाइन से सामान, तब देखते हो ना बबल रैपिंग रखा रहता है। बबल रैपिंग क्यों देते हैं? इट इज़ ए पैकेजिंग मटेरियल बिकॉज इन ट्रांसपोर्ट, सो transport में it is handled very, the things are handled very carelessly, so the delicate things may break. So this is why inside the cartoon some packagings are there so that जो अंदर जो सामान है वो ज़्यादा हिल ना सके। Similarly in our human body, the inside organs, these are very delicate and vital organs, so these organs may become damaged from external shock or injury. So to prevent this or to preserve these different body organs, these connective tissue, they form a packaging material so that these organs can remain in a safe position, like over a cushion, so that अगर कोई external impact भी हुआ हमारे body के ऊपर, the internal organs remains safe. The cells of connective tissue are loosely packed. So these are loosely packed. There are gaps or intercellular spaces between these cells. And the cells of connective tissue loosely packed, living and embedded in an intercellular matrix that may either be jelly-like and fluid and dense or rigid in nature. And these connective tissues, they are loosely packed, and between these loosely packed cells there is a intercellular matrix. So between different cells there is a matrix or jelly-like substance or fluid-like substance. Okay, so this is why they are protective in function, because of the presence of this jelly-like or fluid-like substance. The nature of matrix decides the function of the connective tissue, and depending upon this nature of the matrix, the function of the different connective tissue is dependent. So the various types of connective tissue are areolar or loose connective tissue. So this is a diagram of loose connective tissue. So it's a bit complicated, nothing to get nervous here. So just we'll study one by one. So this tissue is a loose and cellular connective tissue. So this tissue is a loose connective tissue. Loose means what? Because between different cells of areolar connective tissue, some gaps are there, and in these gaps some fluid-like substances are present. Its matrix consists of two kind of fibers. The matrix or the space between different cells. In case of areolar tissue, there are some fibers are present. These fibers are one white collagen fibers and yellow elastic fibers. These two types of fibers are present, white collagen fibers and yellow elastic fibers. Several kind of irregular cells are also present there. Example, fibroblast, macrophages. These types of cells are also present in the matrix. So we'll see now. So this is the areolar connective tissue. So plasma cell, these are collagen fibers, elastin fibers, fibroblast. So it's a bit confusing here, you will get confused. So just the tissues of areolar or loose connective tissue, they are loosely packed, the cells are loosely packed, and in between these cells some jelly-like substances are present. Okay, and in matrix means the space between the cells consist of दो तरह के फाइबर होते हैं, व्हाइट कोलाजन फाइबर एंड येलो इलास्टिक फाइबर्स, एंड देयर आर in this matrix there are some irregular shaped cells are also present, fibroblast and macrophages, it is also present in the matrix. So it is the simplest and most widely distributed connective tissue. It is most of the simplest form and most widely distributed. It joins skin to muscles. It joins our skin to the underlying muscles, fills spaces inside the organs, that is forms a packaging material. It fills different spaces between the organs and is found around muscles and blood vessels and nerves. It's found around our different muscles, then the blood vessels and our nerve cells. Next, function. it acts as a supportive and packaging tissue between various organs lying in the body cavity. So inside our body cavity, so inside our body, so there are various organs. So it forms a packaging material and protects the inner organs. The matrix of this tissue is important in diffusion of oxygen and nutrients from small blood vessels. So matrix means the intercellular space which is covered up with the jelly-like substance or fluid substance. So this intercellular space, food, as you know, the different food and oxygen, it is transported to our different cells with the help of blood. And blood में क्या होते हैं, blood vessels होते हैं, and these blood vessels are connected to different organs, and in between these organs and blood vessels, these connective tissues are present, and this connective tissue is also responsible for diffusion of oxygen and nutrients which comes out from the blood vessel and enters the cells. So it is present in between the blood vessels and the body cells. So the food and oxygen from these blood vessels, it first passes through this areolar connective tissue, and then it enters the different cells. It helps in repair of tissues after injury. Suppose after an injury, so cell divisions will be there, cell division keep on continuing, and after some days, so that wound is healed up. So this areolar or loose connective tissue helps in repair of body tissues after injury. It also helps in combating foreign toxins. So it helps to fight the foreign substances such as different virus and bacteria. It also keeps our body free from these toxic substances. It fixes skin to underlying muscles. So ये जो skin है और जो नीचे जो muscle है, बीच में एक layer बनता है. So that layer is made up of what, this areolar or loose connective tissue. So it connects our skin with the muscles inside our skin. Then dense regular connective tissue. So it is also a connective tissue, but it was loose connective tissue because the cells were much apart from one another. The cells were much apart from one another, and in case of this dense or regular connective tissue, the cells are close to one another. So we'll see. It is characterized by ordered and densely packed collection of fibers and cells. So fibers and some fibers and cells, it makes up the regular connective tissue. So dense regular connective tissue is the principal component of tendons and ligaments. So it is found, or it is the principal component of the tendons and ligaments. So tendons, ligaments, and aponeurosis, we'll study one by one. So tendons are cord-like strong inelastic structures that join skeletal muscles to our bones. So see, this is the attachment of tendons and ligaments. So which is the tendon? This is muscle, this is ligament. Yeah, this is the tendon. Tendon, what it does, these are cord like, these are strong inelastic structures. They are not elastic, मतलब वो stretch नहीं होता है. And what it does, these are composed of white fibrous tissue. This has great strength but limited flexibility. As these are inelastic, they have great strength but they are not flexible. And this joins this skeletal muscle to bone. So this joint somewhere here, it is the known as the tendon. It joins our muscle. Suppose this is the what, arm muscle or any muscle to our bones. Then ligaments connect one bone with the other bone. So this is, see, this is one bone, this is another part of the bone, and there is a connection between this, and due to the presence of ligament we can move this joint, arm joint or any other joint. So ligament is very elastic, because when we are stretching or when we are folding our arms, the movement, elastic movement of this ligament only helps us to open or fold our arms. So these are very elastic and has a considerable great strength. It contains a very little matrix. So it contains a little matrix because the cells of this ligament, they are not much distant from one another, so they are a bit close to one another, so there is very little gap between each cell of this tendon. So little gap means little matrix or little intercellular space is present in ligament cells or in ligament tissue. Ligament strengthens joints and permit normal movement. It provides strength to the joints and permit normal movement of the joints. The overstitching leads to pain or it may tear also. So overstretching of our joints will lead to pain, and it may also lead to the tear of our ligaments also. Then aponeurosis. These are broad sheets of dense fibrous collagenous connective tissue that cover and form the terminations and attachment of various muscles. So aponeurosis, what it does, these are broad sheets of dense and fibrous connective tissues that cover and form the terminations and attachments of various muscles. So one muscle where it is terminating and connecting with the other muscles, okay, terminations कहाँ पे टर्मिनेट एंडिंग हो रहा है एंड कनेक्टिंग विद द नेक्स्ट मसल. सो एपोन्यूरोसिस, वी कैन से एपोन्यूरोसिस कनेक्ट one muscle with the other muscle. Next type of tissue we have adipose tissue. So it's mainly related to the fat tissues. Adipose tissues are an aggregation of fat cells or adipocytes. So many fat cells join together to form a type of tissue which is known as the adipose tissue. Each fat cell, so this is the structure of adipose tissue. Video is running, yeah, a bit out of frame, okay. So each fat cell is rounded or oval in shape and contains a large droplet of fat that almost fills it. So each flat cell, you see, these are the fat cells. ये जो round cells है, so these are flat globules or droplets of fat and it almost covers up this entire fat cell. Okay, the adipose tissue is abundant below the skin. So fat हमारे body पे कहाँ पे होते हैं? Skin में होते हैं, below the skin. Between the internal organs, between various internal organs, the fats are present because it provides, it also makes a packaging material, and this fat, they are they're spongy in nature, and it protects the internal organs from shocks or injuries also. Then functions, it serves as a fat reservoir. So in adipose tissue, fat cells are present and it acts as a fat reservoir in our body, because fat reservoir में क्या fat store रहता है, and fat is a form of energy. Okay, it provides shape to the limbs and the body. So these fat cells, they provide a definite shape to the different parts of our body. Okay, so without fat, a person will look lean and thin. Okay, so it provides a definite shape to our body. This is why different individuals have different body structures, have different body shapes depending on the deposition of this adipose tissue or fat cells. It gives visceral organs. Visceral organs means the internal soft and delicate organs such as lungs, heart, kidney, digestive and reproductive and excretory system in position. Keeps these organs in a fixed definite position. ये तो जो organ जहाँ पे होता है वहाँ पे ही रहता है, it do not change its place. So this adipose tissue, it keeps these internal organs in a fixed position. It forms shock absorbing cushion around kidneys and eyeballs. So Kidney is a very delicate organ. It forms a shock absorbing fat cells. क्या है? They are spongy in structure, spongy in nature. So they around kidneys they are present, and around different the visceral delicate organs of our body they are also present. So they protects the kidney from external shock. एंड आवर आईबॉल्स, जो हमारा जो आईबॉल है जो हम मूवमेंट करते हैं, सो इट इज ऑल्सो प्लेस्ड in the in adipose tissue, because it is also a delicate organ and it also needs protection from shock or external injury, and this adipose tissue protects our eyeballs and kidneys and different internal organs from external shock or injury. It reduces heat loss from our body and regulates body temperature. So adipose tissue, this is mainly fat, a layer of fat which is present the outside of our body and in the inside the internal organs. So it protects heat loss from our body and regulates our body temperature. Next, skeletal tissue. From the name you can judge skeletal tissue. It will make up the skeleton, or it's connected to the skeleton. The skeletal or supporting tissue includes cartilage and bone, which forms the endoskeleton of a vertebrate body. So there are some terms. Endoskeleton means, endo means inside the body, skeleton means the framework or structure. So it forms the inside framework of a vertebrate body. Vertebrate and invertebrate. So vertebrate मतलब जिसका मेरुदंड है, मेरुदंड मतलब जो वर्टिब्रल कलम है जो भी ऑर्गेनिजम्स का, उनको हम क्या बोलते हैं? वर्टिब्रेट बोलते हैं. एंड दोज ऑर्गेनिजम्स व्हिच डू नॉट हैव द वर्टिब्रल कॉलम वी कॉल देम एज इनवर्टिब्रेट्स. सो skeletal tissue, it includes cartilage and bone, and it forms the endoskeleton or inside part of the skeleton of a vertebrate. So what are the types? It's of two types, cartilage and bone. फर्स्ट देखेंगे कार्टिलेज. वी हैव ऑलरेडी नो, कार्टिलेज हमने स्टडी नहीं किया है, वो लिगामेंट था. ओके, सो कार्टिलेज, द कार्टिलेज इज अ स्पेशलाइज्ड कनेक्टिव टिश्यू हैविंग वाइडली स्पेस्ड सेल्स. सो कार्टिलेज, सपोज द मसल like structure which is present in our nose, it's not very hard, it's soft and spongy, we can compress them. Then the muscles which are present, or the bone or heart structure which is present in our ear, we can compress them because the cells are loosely packed, there is space between the cells, this is why we can compress them. It has a solid matrix called chondrin which is composed of proteins and sugars. So as the cells of the ligaments are see, this is as the cells, this is a cartilage and this is the cells of the cartilage, and these cells of the cartilage उसको हम chondrocytes बोलते हैं. So this is one cell of the cartilage, this is another cell. These float in a matrix or jelly like substance, and these cells are widely apart. Okay, this is a non-living matrix. Then कहा गया, so it is a solid matrix called chondrin, और जो matrix है we call it as chondrin, and it is composed of protein and sugar. The matrix of cartilage has a delicate network of collagen fibers having and living cells. So fibers are not shown here, so some collagen fiber like structures are present here, and some living cells are present here which we call as chondrocytes. So this cartilage cell, इसको हम chondrocytes भी बोलते हैं. So this is one, and यहाँ पे दो शो किया गया, यहाँ पे भी दो, यहाँ पे चार है, बिकॉज दिस सेल्स आर केपेबल ऑफ डिवीजन. यहाँ पे एक सेल से दो सेल हो रहा है, दो सेल डिवाइड होके यहाँ पे चार सेल बन रहे हैं, बिकॉज दीज आर capable of division, but our main single cell is structure is this. Chondrocytes are present in a fluid filled space known as lacunae. So these cells, these connective tissue cells, these are present in a fluid filled space. So inside this is the outermost covering, and this is the cartilage cell inside it, and the space around this is a matrix or jelly like substance or a fluid like substance, जिसको हम क्या बोलते हैं, लेक्यूने बोलते हैं. This space is known as the lacunae. Blood vessels are absent in the matrix. There is no any blood vessels here. Okay, so this is the structure. Now where it is located, cartilage is located in ear, pinna of the ear, the nose tip, epiglottis, end of long bones, lower end of ribs and rings of trachea. So first, glottis and epiglottis. Epiglottis. So epiglottis is a part here, I think, of the respiratory system. I will have to see this. The epiglottis, I have just forgot this, and it makes up this trachea or windpipe, and our ear, the nose tip. Okay, these are all made up of the cartilage tissues. Function: it provides support and flexibility to the body parts. So these things are flexible in nature. Cartilage, we can easily move them, we can easily bend them. Okay, it provides support and flexibility to our different body parts. Cartilage provides smoothness to the bone surfaces at the joints. So at different joints, this is also cartilage. This you can see in the finger joint. So it provides, it connects, or it is present in the joint of bones, and it provides smoothness to the joint of bone. So these are the different functions. Then bone, as you know, it is very strong and non-flexible tissue. This is the bone cell. Bone, it is a very strong and non-flexible. We cannot flex the bones. So it is porous, highly vascular, mineralized, and hard and rigid. So it's porous in structure. Pores are there in the bones. Then highly vascular. Highly vascular means highly connected with the blood vessels, because as you know, blood कहाँ पे form होता है? It's formed in the bone marrow. Inside the bones, blood cells are formed inside the bones. So these bones are highly vascular. They have a good amount of blood supply or blood vessels. Mineralized, it is made up of minerals, calcium, and some other minerals also make up the bones. Hard and rigid. Its matrix is made up of proteins enriched in salts of calcium and phosphorus. The bone cells, see, osteocytes, bone cells are known as what? Lacunae with the bone cells, canaliculi. Okay. These bone cells have space between them, and its matrix is made up of proteins and rich in salts like calcium and phosphorus. It forms the framework that supports the body. So as you know, bone gives what? A definite frame to our human body. The different organisms looks different due to their different structure of bones. The matrix of bone is in the form of thin concentric rings called lamellae. So this is the matrix of bone. And this matrix of bone, you see, there are some, this is one cell, suppose, and there are some ring like structures, okay, having a same center. This is why they are known as concentric rings. The matrix of bone is in the form of a concentric ring called lamellae, और उसको हम क्या बोलते हैं? lamellae बोलते हैं. Bone cells called osteoblasts or osteocytes are present between the lamellae. So these are the bone cells. Okay. So bone cells we call as osteocytes or osteoblast, and it is present in between this lamellae in fluid filled space called lacunae. So these bone cells, these are present in these concentric rings, over these concentric rings, and some fluids are present, and उस fluid को हम क्या बोलते हैं? lacunae बोलते हैं. and that fluid filled space is called the lacunae. All lacunae of the bone communicate with each other by a network of fine canals called canaliculi. So see, this is a bone, this is a structure of a bone cell. So some concentric rings are there over here, and in these rings, in a fluid filled space called lacunae, bone cells are present, and one bone cell is connected with the other bone cell through some these hair like structures, and these hair like structures we call it as what? Canaliculi. Okay, first this function, bones provide definite shape to the body, bones provide skeletal support to the body. What to discuss these things? Bones protects the vital organs such as brain and lungs. So the internal body organs are safely, and delicate organs are protected by the bones. So the human skull, the outer skull जो खोपड़ी है उसके अंदर brain है. So the outermost covering the skull protects the inner, the delicate part of the brain. Then lungs is present, or lungs is safely placed inside the rib cage inside the, and rib is a bone. So bones also protects the internal body part. It provides definite shape and structure to the human body. Bone anchors the muscles. So muscles are connected to our bones. You see, this is a muscle, it is connected to the bones. So bone क्या करता है, ये एक एंकर का काम भी करता है. It holds our muscles in place. Bone serve as storage site of calcium and phosphate. So bone, it is made up of mainly different types of minerals, and these different types of minerals such as calcium and phosphate, these are present in the bone. So bones also act as storage site of calcium and phosphate. Next we have fluid connective tissue. So fluid means liquid, and connective tissue, you know, which connects one organs with the other. So the fluid connective tissue is the only one and only, it is the blood. Fluid connective tissue links different parts of the body and maintains a continuity of the body. So जितने भी organs है, they are connected with one another with the help of this fluid connective tissue or blood, and it maintains a continuity of the body. So no organ of the body is independent of the other. Every organ of our body or organ system, in one way or the other, it is dependent on the other organ. Suppose the heart pumps blood, and oxygen is taken. With this blood, oxygen goes to our different cells, and this oxygen helps in respiration. Now if lungs stop working, then oxygen will not be supplied to the different cell. Ultimately the person will die. Kidney filters blood, it filters urea from the blood. If kidney stops working, then urea will be accumulated in our body cells, and after some days ऊपर चला जाएंगे. So in this way, the different organs are connected with one another. Then blood, so it is a fluid connective tissue that links different parts of our body. It helps to maintain the continuity of our body. Blood contains a fluid matrix called plasma and blood cell. So blood का जो देखो यहाँ पे भी मैट्रिक्स है, फ्लूइड मैट्रिक्स. जो लिक्विड पार्ट of the blood, what we see, the liquid part is the plasma, and in plasma the blood cells such as red blood cells, white blood cells, and platelets, these are suspended in it. So we can say the plasma is the matrix, and in plasma the cells such as RBC and white BC, these are suspended. All together we see it as red color blood. So plasma also contains proteins. So plasma, the liquid part, it also contains proteins, salts, and some hormones. Blood transport, now what blood does, it transport nutrients, gases, hormones, and vitamins to various parts of our body. जितना भी हम जो खाना खाते हैं, so after digestion, the absorption, after absorption in the small intestine, through the walls of the small intestine are connected to the blood capillaries, and through that blood capillaries the food enters into the bloodstream, and so that blood, it is transported to different parts of the cells. Then gases, various the respiratory gases such as oxygen we are taking in with the help of our nose, then through lungs it is then transported to the heart, and from heart it is transported to different body parts. Then respiration occurs. After respiration, what? Carbon dioxide is produced. That carbon dioxide is a waste. It has to be released or given out from the body. That carbon dioxide again comes back to the blood, and blood carries this carbon dioxide again to the heart, and from heart it again reaches the lungs, and from lungs it is given out by our nostrils, and it also transport different hormones and vitamins to different tissues or cells of our body. It carries excretory products from tissues to excretory organs. So I have already said excretory products मतलब suppose carbon dioxide भी हो सकता है, and some excretory products such as urine or urea, okay, these also transport from different tissues to different excretory organs for excretion. It also conducts heat and regulates body temperature. So our normal body temperature, in spite of the outer changes in temperature, a normal body temperature is maintained by our blood, because we are warm blooded animals. So we have constant supply of oxygen in our body through our blood, and this is why through blood our body temperature remains constant. Next, blood cells are of three types: RBC, WBC, and blood platelets. We see its functions. RBC help in transport of respiratory gases, oxygen and carbon dioxide with the help of hemoglobin to and from various parts of the body. So red blood cells, it is red in color due to the presence of a respiratory pigment or coloring pigment. It is a red colored pigment, hemoglobin. So hemoglobin के वजह से ही red blood cell का color red है. So and this hemoglobin is a carrier of respiratory gases, that is oxygen, okay, from lungs to different body organs, and carbon dioxide from different body organs after respiration back to the lungs for breathing out. Next, WBC का main function है white blood cells का main function है, we also call it as leukocytes. They are of 5 types: eosinophil, basophil, neutrophil, monophil. Okay, so WBC's main function is protecting the body from various different bacteria, viruses, and producing antibodies. So what are antibodies? Antibodies, it is the defense mechanism of our human body. So in viruses and bacteria, antigens are present. Antigens. So these antigens, they affect our body or cause diseases. So what WBC does, it protects, they produce soldiers in our blood, which उस soldiers को हम क्या बोलेंगे? Antibody बोलेंगे. Antibody will fight with the antigen, it will kill the antigen and keep our body disease free. Okay, next we have blood platelets. This is also known as thrombocytes and help in clotting of blood. So have you seen, after you get a cut, the bleeding stops after some time, and it is due to the accumulation of blood platelets. Blood platelets accumulates or collects in the region of injury, and it forms a jelly-like, solid paste-like substance there, due to which bleeding from that region stops. This is due to the presence of platelets of blood, which we call as thrombocytes. So next we have lymph. So lymph is a yellow colored fluid that is filtered out of the blood capillaries. So lymph in details. We'll study in class 10 how lymph is formed. So it is a light yellow colored fluid filtered out of the blood capillaries. So for lymph it is yellow fluid, and it is also a connective system. It is also a transport system, and it is called the lymphatic system. So the blood connective system, and this is the lymphatic system. And there are also some capillaries and tube-like structures through which this lymph flows. So since it is a part of blood, its composition is similar to that of blood. So it is a part of blood only, but it flows through different structures or different tubes. So in the lymph, white blood cells are found in abundance. So lymph में क्या होता है? White blood cells are mostly found because the main function of the lymph is to produce antibodies and to protects our body from diseases. Functions: lymph transport the nutrients, oxygen or glucose that may have been filtered out by the blood capillaries back into the heart to be recirculated into the body. So lymph transport nutrients such as oxygen and glucose, which is filtered out or which comes out from the blood capillaries, and it is sent back to the heart again, and it is recirculated with the blood again to different part of the body. It brings CO2 and nitrogenous wastes from tissue fluid to the blood. Now what is tissue fluid? This lymph, it forms a fluid-like structure. It is known as the tissue fluid. In details you will not understand now this lymph, and it is a very vast chapter. You will get probably in class 10. So it brings carbon dioxide and nitrogenous substances from tissue fluid to the blood, being loaded with WBCs such as lymphocytes. White blood cells को हम क्या बोलते हैं? Lymphocytes भी बोलते हैं. And lymphocyte is a part of white blood cells. The lymph protects the body against infection. It forms defense or immune system of the body. It provides immunity to the body and protects our body from the diseases by killing the foreign organisms. Then last we have nervous tissue. So this is the function of a nervous tissue. उसको हम न्यूरॉन भी बोलते हैं. So nervous tissue means nerve cells. Nervous tissue is a tissue which is specialized to transmit messages within our body. So through nerve cells, what is transported? Messages or informations from different body organs or different body parts to another, so that our body can receive information from the outer environment, can process that information and act accordingly. Brain, spinal cord and nerves all are composed of nervous tissue. So all types of nerves, they are composed of nervous tissue. Brain tissues, nervous tissues of the brain, then spinal cord, and all our nerves, they are composed of nervous tissue. Nervous tissue contains highly specialized unit cells called nerve cells or neurons. So this is ऐसा बहुत सारा nerve cells, they join together to form a nerve tissue, and this nerve cell we also call it as neuron. Okay, neurons have ability to receive stimuli from within or outside the body. So they have some structures. This neuron have some structures, okay, and which receives and which transmits the nerve impulses, and that impulses or information may be sent from within the body or from outside the body. So neurons have ability to receive stimuli within or outside the body and to conduct impulses, means send signals to different parts of the body, and depending upon that signals, different act we perform. Example, the neuron has the following body parts: cell body or cyton. जो main body है, this main body, it is known as the cell body or cyton, and it contains a central nucleus and cytoplasm and clumps of ribosomes known as Nissls granules. And this is the cell body. So यहाँ पे एक first there is a good diagram here. Yeah. So this is a neuron. So this is the cell body, जिसको हम साइटोन भी बोलते हैं, and there is nucleus present, cytoplasm and some granule like structures of ribosomes which we call as Nissel's granules. Next we have dendrites. Let's move on to this diagram. See, these branch like structures, these are known as dendrites, and what its function? These are short branched fibers of neuron which receive nerve impulses. They receive nerve impulses or signals from outside the body or inside the body. So dendrites क्या करते हैं? एक रिसीवर की तरह काम करते हैं, nerve impulse, then or signals. They receive signals. Then axon. So this is the axon. Okay, this long branch which arises from the cell body and terminates, okay, here. So it is a single long conducting fiber extending from neuron. The branches of axon ends in solen structure called synaptic knob or button. तो यहाँ पे ये शो नहीं किया गया है. So the ending of this axon, this is the axon, ending of this axon, it terminates in some knob like structure जिसे हम synaptic knobs और जिसे हम buttons बोलते हैं. ठीक है. It transmits impulse away from the cell. So dendrites receive impulses, and these neurons, they transmit impulses from one nerve cell to another nerve cell. The branches of axon ends in a solen structure called synaptic knob. Axon is covered with a medullary sheath. So there is a covering outside the axon. We call it, and it is a sheath or covered like structure जिसको हम medullary sheath बोलते हैं. ठीक है. We call it as medullary sheath. Many nerve fibers bound together by connective tissue make up a nerve. So like this, many neurons, they will form a nerve fiber. This is one cell of nerve. So many like this type of nerve cells together, they will combine together to form a nerve tissue, and nerve tissue with the help of different connective tissue, they will make up a complete nerve. And nerve impulses allows us to move our muscles according to our will, and depending on the nerve impulses, we can control or move our body according to our will. So if there is a nervous failure, or sometimes we say paralysis, and what happens in paralysis? The connection between the brain and the different body organs or the nervous system, there is complete breakdown, due to which we are not able to move our different body parts when a person suffers from paralysis. So these were the different types of tissues which we have studied in a very vast and very detailed manner. So last topic we have, I think you can read it yourself, difference between the plant tissues and animal tissues. So I am ending up here.